He's going to learn a lot right here going through that first corner.
That's your confidence corner. That's when you know
Sure
you kind of know what you got.
And you heard Matt Kens at the lead. Hey, I'm going to drive it down there like I think I should. I hope it sticks.
And Kens is going out on track right now. .215 into the corner.
Boy, he's out of the throttle a long time. We're going to hear a lot of that, but I'm not so sure that you want to be out of it that long.
Jeff, watch the RPM. I mean, that's a big telltale. That tells you how much you're out of the throttle because the RPM dropped way, way down.
And look how much the RPMs pick up down the straightaway. It's amazing that delta between low RPM or low mile per hour and high RPM and high mile per hour.
Right. We saw a high of 9,000 there and a low of 7,600. 36.72 for Earnhardt. 36.84 for Kyle Busch.
Boy, this track's lost a lot of grip. That's a lot slicker than it was in practice.
Wow. 36.96 Paul Menard.
Chase Elliott was 36.709 practice.
35, yeah, 35.
35, I'm sorry.
Jimmy Johnson fastest. Now Austin Dillon top of the chart. All right, Brad Keselowski has cleared inspection, leaving just 3 in the garage area. Annette, Truex, and Biffle. There's the 78.
Never a comforting feeling when cars still going through inspection and cars are on the racetrack.
Plenty of time. This is a 20-minute session, so still. But you see the time up there in the upper right, 17:42 left to make your run.
You get a little antsy. I mean, you know, you're already nervous about going out making this run, and then your car's not out here, and what's going on, and what's the problem, and are we going to be okay?
Matt Kens a third. Greg Biffle now out of inspection, leaving just Annette and Truex.
Yeah, DW, I thought it was just always important to have a clear mind and focus, especially a big, fast racetrack like here at Michigan. And anything that sort of gets in the way of that could be a distraction. It can cost you from advancing to that second round.
Eric Almirola, 5th quickest.
Austin Dillon, our pole sitter from California earlier this year, don't forget, he sat on the pole out there. Similar racetrack, 2-mile racetrack. A little more banking here than we have in California, but still, that's a great run by that kid.
Yeah, you know, since then, they haven't quite put the numbers together like we were expecting. We saw them do have some great performances earlier in the year, and we've been sort of waiting for that to come back. Maybe this is the weekend that it does.
Casey Mears, 2nd. Great run for Casey and Chris.
Great job, man. P2 out of 54. P2.
And Chris Buescher is now the fastest Ford. He is 6th.
These are such tough conditions to be in. So we see Stenhouse rolling off into turn 1. It's a nice looking lap going so far. Might even go green as he goes down the back straightaway. But such tough conditions because you have a certain expectation based on what you did that last time out on the track in a qualifying run, and then you come into these conditions and the track's completely different. Really throws you off to know just how hard you need to push or how much you need to hold back.
Yeah, again, 35.7 was our practice speed this morning, and now we're at 36.45, so we've lost a lot.
Another one has a great lap going here is Denny Hamlin.
Wow, 36.10 for Hamlin.
There you go. That's a nice lap. About to get back to our practice speeds.
Now, Matt Yoakum.
Now more work going on the 78 back here, Mike. Now they have passed NASCAR inspection. Now they're going through their pre-qualifying checklist rather quickly, trying to pressure up the tires to the correct settings. Truex has helmet on, Hans on. He's getting ready to climb in. So like we mentioned earlier, just the issue was where the bodywork met the splitter. They were out of tolerance there. Repairs made, cars good. They're just trying to beat the clock to get out for qualifying.
They should be fine with just about 15 minutes to go. Danica Patrick on track. Now, last year in June, the fastest speed in round 1, or excuse me, is that the fastest speed? That's Jeff Gordon's speed in round 1. 36.52. Right now, that would be 3rd quickest in this round. That time would be. So We are a little bit quicker than these cars were last year.
Yeah,
with a different package.
We've been judging everything off of that 34.85, the track record, and that's really not realistic because that was a long time ago.
7th for Danica Patrick.
Good for her.
And one of the things I'm watching as I watch these cars go around the racetrack is how they're sealing up those side skirts to maximize the amount of downforce and air moving through and around the car. When you take that spoiler away and take downforce away, the back of the car doesn't squat down and push into the racetrack like it used to with the bigger rear spoiler. So these teams are really having to do a lot of work to make sure they get the right spring setting and shock setting in the back of these cars to seal it off.
Balance. It's always about the balance, front to rear. Always like to put my hand out the window. Get too much on the front, it'll dive the front. If I get too much on the rear, it'll pick up the front.
Kyle Larson now 3rd, Tony Stewart 15th, A.J. Allmendinger 16th. And Kurt Busch 3rd, Brian Scott 10th.
And Joey Logano, we're seeing a little bit of green on his lap as he goes into turn 3.
Jamie McMurray 3rd.
Coming off of turn 4 here. It's going to be a good lap.
Cole Witt on the bubble in the 55 right now, and off he goes. Logano is 2nd. He's the fastest Ford. David Reagan on the bubble, and here comes Brad.
Pole sitter from last week. See what he's got for these guys today.
So Jeffrey Earnhardt and Cole Witt have been bumped. 26 cars have made a qualifying run so far.
You talk about hard to do, Jeff. I think what's hard to do is try to get through this session to the next round and not use up too much of your stuff. Save just a little bit.
That's a really good point, DW. Here we are talking about moving on to round 2, being in the top 24. It's not about being the fastest right now. It's just about transferring through to the next round.
Now Keselowski is 10th. That should be good enough to transfer. Takes the top 24. Ryan Newman, the Rocket, is 3rd.
And I think if you're going to sit on the pole, you're going to have a little bit in your back pocket for that 3rd round.
Agree.
Greg Biffle is 19th. So Regan Smith and Paul Menard have been bumped from the top 24.
Mike 78 just rolled out of the garage down pit road. Looks like he's getting ready to go out for his run.
So all cars have now cleared pre-qualifying inspection and
yellow's
caution.
out for debris.
Debris up in turn number 3 puts us under caution.
Boy, that's not at all what Kevin Harvick wanted to see. He was on his hot lap when that came out.
But that will stop the clock. We'll have 12 minutes remaining. Hey, air hose?
Yeah.
Ducting?
Some ducting.
Cooling hose?
Some maybe on the rear brakes or, I don't know, front. It's a brake hose.
Now, Carl Edwards managed to slow up before he got off pit road.
Yeah, he was halfway down the back straightaway, maybe even going into turn 3 right when that caution came out. So he's definitely used up the tires through 1 and 2, and actually coming to the green on through 3 and 4 we use up a little bit of tires. We watch Jamie McMurray here going into turn 3.
And there is your culprit.
Yeah.
It's a brake hose. It'll come off the front of the rear depending on, what size hose they're using.
These cars are traveling at very high speeds and a lot of turbulent air in there. Anything could make that happen.
Now, Kevin Harvick did not complete a lap. He's returned to pit road. They've backed him up and attached the cool down unit. 32 cars have made a run in round 1. Denny Hamlin is quickest. Red flag out with 12 minutes remaining for a piece of air cooling duct work, or duct hose that is, up in turn number 3 from Jamie McMurray's car. And the question mark, a couple of them. One is going to be Ryan Blaney, who is 24th right now and is on the bubble. And I'm sorry, let's flip that. Identical times for Blaney and Allmendinger, but Blaney is higher in points, so he gets the 23rd spot. Allmendinger is 24th. And the big question mark will be Kevin Harvick. They'll cool him down. They'll cool his car down. And he'll make a run right toward the end of this session.
Yeah, they put the cool down unit on him.
Matt DiBenedetto was also on a hot lap when the red flag came out. So similar story for the 83.
Now, one of the things I find fascinating when we talk about 23rd, 24th, 25th, even to 26, I mean, you're talking about a couple hundredths of a second difference in between those speeds. That's all you have to pick up to be able to get yourself into the top 24 right now. But man, it is so tight, the times right there.
Yeah, look at that, Jeff. I mean, 95-95, they're tied, and a 96 is 25th. A 98 is 26.
Time to beat is A.J. Allmendinger, 36.95. That's what our tracker will show. Carl Edwards, Chase Elliott on it.
Yeah, Chase Elliott was fastest in practice. Curious to see if he can back that up.
Now that green light means he will get into the top 24 with this run.
Yeah,
pretty good gap right there. That's building too. I mean, that's fast.
So right here we could bump Allmendinger, Blaney, and Stewart.
This might bump Denny Hamlin off the pole right here.
Yeah, it's just growing.
Number
Look
one
at that.
spot right
it's
now.
Growing.
Third for Edwards, 36.19.
Yeah, we got 36.10, 36.18, 36.19, those first three cars.
So Allmendinger's out. Chase Elliott is 20th. That knocks out Blaney. Truex is 4th. That knocks out Tony Stewart.
I'd be a little nervous if I'm Chase Elliott right now. As fast as he was in practice, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be too comfortable with that speed.
And look who it moves to the bubble, our series champion, Kyle Busch.
Got a few minutes here to think about it.
10 minutes to go in this session.
Well, after the way inspection went for Truex, those guys have to be feeling pretty good about that lap right there. Now that they can relax and move on and start thinking about round two.
Yeah, he was second quick, so in our practice, he's 4th now, so good shape. Neville, Chris.
Well, I think Joey Logano a little surprised with his time. Just chatted with him as he got out of his car, and I said, "Are you surprised? You know, before qualifying, you weren't too excited about getting out there the way that car was handling in practice." And he said, "I'm absolutely surprised. The car was just awful out there." He said, "Well, at least one thing, we might be the best of awful."
that could be a good thing today.
That's not bad. That's not bad awful right there. My car isn't any worse than anyone else's.
A lot better than being the king of wishful thinking.
Yeah, it's just not possible when you pull this much downforce out of the cars that they're going to drive like a dream.
So the last two cars to take time are Matt DiBenedetto in the 83 and Kevin Harvick. Everyone else has posted a time. 8.5 to go. And some big names on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, it's somewhat of the surprise for me when we talk about how much downforce has been taken out of these cars. You hear the drivers talking about how on the edge they are, that we're not seeing them get more out of shape. I really thought we were going to see somebody do a big giant save in the car, maybe even come around.
Oh, Jeff, they will Sunday.
Look at this.
This could be big
Sunday.
if Matt DiBenedetto knocks out Kyle Busch.
He
does it by one spot, by 0.02 of a second. He's in. Kyle's out.
Yeah, 84 with a 6, 84 with an 8.
Wow, that's close.
Great job.
8 minutes to go.
It's going to get really interesting to me because you've got Paul Menard, Ryan Blaney, A.J. Allmendinger, Tony Stewart, as well as some others that may surprise us that could improve their time the second time out now that they have a feel for what the car is doing and what the track conditions are like. And here's Paul Menard. We're going to find out right now if he can bump his way back up into the top 24.
And Jeff, what I'm looking forward to, these guys talking single car runs, been out there by themselves most of it. Not too bad. They're pretty happy. Okay, the car's not bad. Wait till Sunday when this thing's over with. And your arms are worn out and your tongue's hanging out. And you say, man, this car's hard to drive.
Menard is 29th right now. He needs to pick up about 1/10 and a half.
Well, he's come to the green good. He's already in the green as far as the timer is concerned going into turn 1. But he's losing a little bit of speed right here through 1 and 2. And now that's carrying that momentum or loss of momentum down the back straightaway. Really going to have a good 3 and 4 right here. Boy, did you hear how early
rolling
he
out
lifted
that
out of the throttle?
I just look at the RPM. It's such a huge speed drop, RPM drop. I mean, that's what I see.
That tells me just how uncomfortable that car is over that flat transition getting into turn 3.
But it also tells you how smart these guys are, because nobody's overextending themselves. They're getting right on that edge and getting off the gas.
Now, Menard's second run was 1/10 of a second slower than his first run. So now on the outside looking in, Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart, A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Blaney, and Kevin Harvick, who has not completed a lap because of the red flag happened while he was on the back straightaway, right? Coming to the checker.
Yeah, he had to get his engine, he had to get everything cooled down so he can go out and make a decent run here. I think he'll be fine.
Well, I think one of the things that they really wanted to get cool was the tires. He had heat in the tires because he went through 3 and 4 to come up to the green and then through 1 and 2. So there was plenty of heat in the tires.
You wanted to see somebody maybe get a little bit loose and chase the car around a little bit? Watch this.
I'm sorry, I spoke too soon, didn't I?
Now this is coming to the green.
Whoa!
That's loose.
That's what I call a great catch.
Yeah, he was loose when he got, on the straightaway. He was loose up on that point on the straightaway.
It's like it was loose and it didn't load.
And now he's got to go do it again at even more, carry more speed in there.
You know what he said? I know what I did wrong. I drove it in too far.
Well, we've heard a lot out of a lot of drivers. That is the trouble spot in that area over in turn 3.
Boyer picks up a little. 37.35, but that is not quick enough.
How is that even possible that he picked up after that big moment getting into 3?
It's Boyer.
Regan Smith, Landon Castle on the clock. Right now, the difference between the ins and the outs at these speeds is about 6 inches on the racetrack between Matt DiBenedetto and Kyle Busch. 2 1,000ths. Landon Castle's got a shot here.
He got into turn 3 pretty good. Look, he's even building some speed here. Great job here.
Car looks good, man. Back in the gas, coming hard. And
he was able to pull it right
better.
Wow, way better. 19th.
That gives him a little bit of a buffer as well, the 24th.
He knocks out Matt DiBenedetto. Greg Biffle on the bubble. Regan Smith a little slower, and David Reagan goes around. Had a green light.
Got some
and goes around.
Right rear damage.
Was that the same place
pretty good there
where Boyer got loose?
I'm pretty sure that's that real crucial area getting into turn 3 where the cars are getting light and loose. Wow, look how early that car came around. I mean, there's nothing you can do as a driver when the car comes around that early.
Now, that's a clock stopper, and who's out on the racetrack again?
Oh, my goodness.
Kevin Harvick.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
He didn't get a lap again?
Nope.
Oh, my.
But he did, he still rolled off pit road, so I still think they may have to do something with the tires and cool down the engine. There's only 4 minutes left.
Goodness.
4 minutes, 20 seconds left, 10 away.
Eric Almirola was also on the track at the time.
The best thing that's happening for Harvick right now is that it's red. So under these red flag conditions, they can plug in and cool off the engine. It's not like a normal red flag condition where you can't touch the car. So that gives them a little bit of time, cool the engine back down. Not a lot you can do about the tires, and you can reset the air pressures, but that's about it.
I think he can make it into the next round, but that's going to be
if he gets a lap, he just needs a lap.
His problem. His car, tires, everything going to be a lot hotter than these guys that up here at the top, like Hamlin and Logano and Edwards and those guys.
Now Kyle Busch, who is 26, had also rolled off, but I'm not sure he had come up to speed. He had not started a qualifying lap. Eric Almirola did, and the red flag came out again. So the clock stops, 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Coming up this weekend on FS1, the NHRA Summer Nationals from Englishtown, New Jersey. Final round coverage Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, only on FS1. and you can watch on Fox Sports Go.
Well, this has certainly been one of the more unique qualifying sessions we've had.
Yes.
You think about inspection, the delays, the debris on the track, this new aero package, the car sliding all over the place, and then David Reagan comes around, causes the red.
Last week was pretty odd, too, you know, with no practice. I mean, those guys, some of them went out and hadn't even been on the racetrack to qualify.
It was.
Denny Hamlin quickest so far. Matt.
A lot of speed in that number 11 Toyota. So how on the free side, how edgy was it, Denny?
It was pretty edgy, but I mean, you got to let off the gas, that's for sure, which is really cool about this package. Even though our lap speeds are not as slow as probably some of us would hope, we're running fast down the straightaway, not in the corners, which is good. So great effort by the FedEx Office Camry team so far, and we don't mind sliding around as long as we do it a little bit faster than everyone else.
And everyone wants to know, what's your expectation looking ahead, forecasting to Sunday, what we're going to see with this package?
Would love to see sun. That'll slow up the pace quite a bit. You want to create as much off-throttle time as possible to put on the best race. So that definitely, we haven't been in race trim yet with our Camry, so I'm guessing, good laps in race trim is liable to be in the 38, 39 second bracket. So we're looking forward to see how it all plays out.
Thanks, Denny. Mike?
Well, we certainly could tell that Denny Hamlin's a big advocate of this aero package. And what he's talking about off-throttle time, you get to the end of the straightaway, and if you have a lot of downforce and drag in the car, you may not even have to lift off the throttle. This package is the exact opposite of that. This package, as you get to the corner, you just don't have the grip, the downforce in the car because the spoiler's so much smaller that you have to lift off the throttle. And the amount of time that you're off the gas and before you get back to the throttle, that's off-throttle time. And we've increased that to a number that I don't even know if we've ever been able to compare here at Michigan. It would go way back.
Yeah, I think if you look at, I just look at the RPM. That's the big thing.
Larry, Kevin Harvick's situation, he's kind of heat cycled those tires twice. He's got a lot of heat in the brakes, cooled off. Everybody's racing out to get on track and get a lap in. But Larry, from the crew chief perspective, what's the effect of those heat cycles on Kevin Harvick and his chances of putting down a good lap?
Yeah, I mean, the good news is he's not run one complete hard lap. Yeah, they probably got some temp in them, but I just believe the speed they'll have in that car, Mike, they just need the opportunity to get a lap, and they'll easily move into the top 24.
I agree.
Tony Stewart back out. He's currently 27th, 36.86. Means he needs half a tenth to bump in. Greg Biffle on the bubble, making an insurance run here because maybe he, like Larry, is pretty sure that Harvick's going to get in the field.
I'd like to get me a little draft if I could. I tell you, you get a huge draft here. You get a little help from a car in front of you. It can make a big difference.
Now this got a little bit tricky for Harvick. He just rolled off pit road. He came off onto the back straightaway behind A.J. Allmendinger ahead of another car. His spotters had to get him into that gap because he's running out of time. Only 3 minutes left to go in this practice.
Look at all the green lights. Ooh, things are going to change in a hurry here, folks. Biffle on the bubble. He's gone. Allmendinger's 16th. Almirola on the bubble.
Tony's looking pretty good here, guys. Smoke.
Eric's gone. Stewart is 4th. Chase Elliott's on the bubble. He's gone. Kyle Busch is 7th. Ty Dillon is 10th. That dispatches Chris Buescher and Casey Kane.
Some of these laps you'd like to run in the next go round, but you got to run them in this go round to get in.
Hey guys, look at Harvick. He's in the red right here. He's right now below 24th by a good bit, almost a 10th. Can he make it back?
Ryan Blaney 4th. That bumps Earnhardt. Brian Scott on the bubble.
No, doesn't do it. Wow.
Nope. 36.74. Harvick comes up 3/100ths short for right now.
I think we know why. The 4 car. I mean, just think about it. He's been on the track twice trying to get a lap in, and so he's got his car's at a big disadvantage.
Well, and plus, all it takes is one little bobble. You know, he really never got a great feel for the balance of the car, so they probably didn't even make an adjustment. I don't think there's enough time for him to come back in and try to make another run.
No way.
Brian Scott holds the 24th spot with 1:45 to go, and Chase Elliott trying to rebound from 30th. Elliott needs about 8/100ths to pass Brian Scott, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. His run was only 1/100th slower than Scott's, but right now Earnhardt's outside looking in.
We saw Chase Elliott didn't get into turn 1 real hard. He kind of went into the red, but he got off of turn 2 good, carried that momentum down the back straightaway. It's all going to be about how he gets off of turn 4 right here. Here he comes, coming back, as well as Dale Earnhardt Jr. doing the same thing.
1:10 to go.
Yeah, I think this is going to get him through round 2.
Scott is out.
Guys, we're down to a minute. I think to get a lap started, you would have to be leaving pit road at about 45 seconds to go, about 10 seconds from now.
Yep. Stenhouse 19th, Chase Elliott 12th. So Scott is out. Danica Patrick's on the bubble against Casey Kane. Patrick 36.70. Matt Kenseth trying to bump in. Brian Scott back out there. 35 seconds. Kane is in 13th.
Made it.
That knocks out Patrick. Allmendinger to the bubble. Matt Kenseth.
He's in.
Improves. He was in from 23rd. He improves to 16th. Allmendinger on the bubble now.
You know, I believe it's Danica Patrick down there sitting on the end of pit road, was getting ready to take off, but just ran out of time. Is not going to be able to make it out there and advance.
Jeff, she was sitting there for about 3 minutes and never left pit road.
Landon Castle a little bit slower. I think that'll do it.
Oh, she wrote.
Matt?
Well, Kevin, in this type of qualifying format, I don't think I've ever seen anyone snake bit as many times as you have due to other people's issues.
Yeah, the common sense was pretty low there on when to throw the caution. I think we were the only car on the racetrack, and debris up out of the groove, and you could hold the cars at the end of pit road, but it is what it is. Our Outback Chevy will be fine, but yeah, there's really not much you can do about that.
Thanks, Kev. Mike?
So he will start 29th in the 40-car field. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team disappointed with 27th. And Brad Keselowski 22nd. Ricky Stenhouse 21st. They will advance. Danica Patrick 25th. Will not advance by less than 3/100ths of a second. We'll get ready for round 2, and we'll show you positions 25 through 40 when we come back.
Dale?
Round 1 of knockout qualifying complete. Here are starting positions 25 through 40. For Sunday's 400-miler, Danica Patrick, Brian Scott, Dale Earnhardt Jr. back there. Kevin Harvick couldn't get a good clean lap. Car with heat in the tires from 2 runs he had to abort due to red flags. Must be time to pick the Can-Am ride of the week.
Who are you going to take, Mike?
You know, I hear Denny Hamlin talking about how he likes this package. Since Daytona, I'm not sure Hamlin's liked a whole lot, but he likes this.
Okay.
If the sun comes out, Hamlin.
So that means you're taking Hamlin.
Right.
I think I'm going to go with, well, who are you going with, Jeff?
Well, I like Carl Edwards. The harder that car is to drive, the more off-throttle time, the more he seems to thrive, and he seems to like this package as well.
I'm going with a guy that doesn't really seem to care how his car drives. He just, ours isn't any worse than anybody else's. I'm going to go with the 22 car, my man Joey Logano.
Those are all good picks.
My man, he's got some breathing room now. He's through inspection, so he's ready to go.
He can relax, right, Larry?
Yes, sir. Martin Truex Jr.
All right, let's show you who moves on to round number 2 of knockout qualifying. Here's your top 24. How about both Dillon brothers?
Yeah, how about that 95 car? That's
top
good.
dozen.
I think that's I think that's supposed to be a Childress car.
It is a Childress car this weekend.
Full-blown Childress car this weekend.
Round 2 of knockout qualifying coming up from Michigan. Michigan International Speedway open for round 2 of knockout Sprint Cup qualifying on K&N Fast Friday. 24 drivers set to roll. And 3 or 4 of them take to the track right off the bat. Matt?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will start 27th on Sunday, and you and Greg Ives have put a lot of focus in improving your overall qualifying effort. But what was the hindrance today, Junior?
We were pretty good in practice, so I don't know. We got really loose into turn 3 on the first run. I think a lot of people did, or a lot of people didn't anticipate it to be as free as it was. And we made some adjustments that just didn't really help us any. So went back out there and was worse, much looser into 3, so just couldn't finish the lap. But we'll be all right. It's a good wide racetrack, and you can do a lot of good things out there on the track and on pit roads. So it's frustrating because I thought when we showed up, we had good speed in our mock run. Just trying to get qualifying a little bit better.
He'll start 27th.
Yeah, he was 4th quick in our practice, so he did have a fast car in practice, but the track conditions, I think, caught some of these guys out a little bit.
When you say, well, why not just tighten the car up so it sticks better in that part of the corner? Well, you got to be careful because when it gets into the center of the corner, you actually get tight and lose the front of the car. So there's a balance there to get it to go through the corner.
Now, really Kyle Busch, faster than his first round speed. Denny Hamlin, a little slower than his first round, but still quickest. Jimmy Johnson, a little quicker. Actually, a lot quicker than round 1. So is Trevor Bayne.
See what Carl's going to do here.
Kyle Larson 3rd, Austin Dillon 2nd.
Nice lap going here with Carl.
Yeah.
Top of the board.
Real nice.
36-14.
I like it.
So that's a 14 with an 8 and a 16 with an O, the first 2 there.
Casey Mears is 8th.
And what I always like about round 2 is just the driver and crew chief and engineering combination that makes the good adjustments, or the driver that makes the adjustments on track as he's driving it. Could be with the way he enters the corner, where he lifts, could be a track bar adjustment, and then you start to see who does it best in round 2.
I think that also the temps are probably coming down a little bit on the track right now. It's it's 5:15, so temps are going down. That picks up grip just a teeny bit.
Yeah.
Brad Keselowski 8th of 9. Ricky Stenhouse, is he headed for the top of the chart? Jamie McMurray 6th.
He lost some time there.
Still a pretty good lap though. I think he's going to be pleased with this.
Ryan Newman 9th. Stenhouse 4th.
Good lap. That'll move him on.
Fastest Ford. Ty Dillon 12th.
Stenhouse and Bayne. Stenhouse 4th, Bayne 6th.
Now I'm curious to see what Kurt Busch could do this weekend after last weekend's big victory. This team could easily get on a roll. If you look at the points, overall points, he scored 2nd most overall points to anybody out there, only 2nd to his teammate Kevin Harvick.
Wow. I like the way the car looks.
Yeah, really squatted down in the back.
It's way down in the back.
He's up in the gray, searching, trying to find a little extra grip up there.
Martin Truex 6th. Kurt Busch 15th.
Down in the back.
Look at Logano.
Here comes pole shot. Top of the board, 36.
Fastest yet.
Flat.
36,001.
Me and DW got a competition going up
here. Baby.
Well, the 3 guys we picked are 1, 2, 3.
That's right. All 1, 2, 3. You're right.
Greg Biffle 13th. Tony Stewart on the clock.
Made a really nice second effort in that first round to advance himself, and he's pretty high up there inside the top 10.
Of the top 10, Denny Hamlin's the only one that didn't go faster on this round. Wonder if he is leaving a little something for round 3.
I would say so, but that time that Logano put up, that's tickling 200 miles an hour. That's 199.
Tony Stewart's going to move up 6th.
Heard Matt Kenseth talk about some of their struggles they've had today. It looks like didn't get through 1 and 2 as good as he'd really like to. You can really see the car crossing over lanes there, going low almost to the high lane, coming off of turn 4 as well.
That's when a driver has to decide, do I stay in it and hang on to it, or do I lift a little wee bit?
Kenseth is 15th. Casey Kane did not.
Time we got 4:30.
Did not complete a lap.
Something's up.
He either had a big moment off of turn 4 and just didn't come to the green the way that he really wanted to.
Well, I don't see any smoke coming out of his cowl.
No, that's
a good thing.
Right. So we're waiting for Chase Elliott, A.J. Allmendinger.
Tell you, this team does a pretty good job of advancing, getting their car better every round.
You know, I spoke to Brad Keselowski in an interview earlier today, and he's just talking about details, about all the many details they put together to make a car go faster. It's not just one area, it's multiple areas, and I feel like that's one of the experiences that I had with Alan Gustafson as a crew chief in this 24 team, and they've continued that with Chase Elliott.
Well, right now his teammate Jimmy Johnson's on the hot seat. Last car to qualify, 12th, 36:45. That's the time, and Chase Elliott is in 36:30. That knocks out Johnson. Kyle Busch on the bubble. And A.J. Allmendinger did not complete his lap, went back to the pits.
Most time, Mike, I'd say the car got out from under him, and he just knew it wouldn't do any good to keep pushing it.
Ryan Blaney is in. That knocks out Kyle Busch. Jamie McMurray is now the bubble car.
Another great effort from one of our star rookies in Ryan Blaney, and Chris Buescher did an excellent job transferring into that second round as well.
Chris?
Go, Chris.
Jeff just checked in with Casey Kane, and it sounded like he just went down into the corner and the car just didn't take a set, lost the front end of it, and just went way too high on the racetrack. Just couldn't gather the car back up. So coming back into pit lane here, trying to cool that car off, making a lot of changes and trying to get him back out before time runs out.
Crew Chief Keith Rodden there, he's looking at the time on the scoring monitor, and they're cooling the car down, hoping to get back out here and make another run.
Well, Larry McReynolds told us earlier, what is it, Larry? 45 seconds you need to be rolling off the end of pit road to be able to complete and get to the green flag.
That's pretty much going to be about it. I mean, you could make it happen at 43 or 44 seconds, but I'd say 45 is about the cutoff.
So Jimmy Johnson knocked out. He's currently 14th. 36:45. 36:40 is right now the bump time, and that's Jamie McMurray. So our tracker will reflect that.
Seen a lot of these drivers make an adjustment on their entry. They're feeling really loose getting into the corner, so they seem to back the entry up a little bit, allow the car to get a set, and then try to really get in the gas and make up all that time from the middle of the corner all the way down to the next corner.
Yeah, Jeff, that little bitty spoil on the back, you gotta be loose as a goose getting in the corner.
Oh man, yes.
I mean, you gotta have no rear grip.
And that cannot be fun. We saw speeds, 215 miles per hour going in the corner. That's not a lot of fun to be sliding sideways at those speeds.
Think about that rear spoiler as a boat anchor. Last year we had a big old boat anchor back there, and it was holding that back end down. Now we got a little bit of light when it skips along the top of the track, and that back end is dancing around, baby.
Hey, Kyle Busch trying to bump in here.
100th to the good right now. Going the wrong way, though. Boy, Brad was so close. 300ths.
Yep, 14th.
Keselowski misses it. 36:44. Kyle Busch does it. Fourth quickest.
Kyle did a great job. He backed up that entry. We saw him go into the red going into turn 3, but he really got back into the gas early and got a lot of momentum coming off of turn 4 to get himself advanced.
And the Gibbs cars are 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 11, 18, and well, let's see where's the other one. 19, 11, and 18. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
So Trevor Bayne is on the bubble. Jamie McMurray just got knocked out. See if he can make it to the line in the next 14 seconds to start this lap. Otherwise, he will be bumped.
Kane just went by and started his last lap.
That was expired for round 2.
And I don't believe the one made it.
All cars except the one. All cars except one can come back.
Meaning that McMurray did not start his lap before time expired.
Look at this.
Yeah.
All in the green, just like we saw in the last round. Right towards the end, everybody seemed to be putting their best laps together. Now they go red.
Just get tight off that corner. Just trying to tighten the car and get in the corner.
Bain
Makes
on
it
the
too tight
bubble.
off the corner.
Casey Kane misses it. Kurt Busch, Allmendinger. None of them can knock Trevor Bain, or excuse me, Ryan Newman off that 12th spot. So it is Newman who ends up 12th.
I don't know how you did it, so we'll take it. That was the best lap Larry and I ran the whole time. That's all we got, though. I'll take one more then.
Well, that's 4th quick right now, so that's not bad.
And that lap was 12 100ths quicker than what he ran in round 1.
He just needs to go out twice every round.
That could be. So Ryan Newman will be among the 12 who advance to 4 for Sunday's 400. Trevor Bain missed advancing by just 6 1,000ths of a second. And there's the group that he leads. And where they qualify in round 2. Chris Neville.
Yeah, and Jamie McMurray going to roll off 14th on Sunday. And Jamie, it looked like you guys were waiting until the absolute last second to try and get in one more run there. Came up a little short there, but what more did you need out of the car?
Well, just I think fighting similar to everyone else is the car is quite a bit freer on entry this weekend, and it's hard to get the car to turn through the middle. It's like we said though during the break, it's so much better than what we had here last year, where you literally were running wide open and had a hard time making the car faster. It's so much more fun to be able to, you know, fight a balance and then work on that. So I think that's a great package. Just we just waited just a little too long at the end of pit road. But overall, both the 42 and the 1 car were really good this weekend. So pretty happy with the McDonald's Chevy.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Chris. 12 drivers will move on to run for the pole. Denny Hamlin first in round 1, third in round 2. He's today's K&N driver profile. The only driver to start every race in the top 12 this season. Nobody else has made the top dozen. He'll be one of 4 Toyotas, 5 Chevrolets, and 3 Fords to make it to the final round today. Matt?
For the 5th time in the last 6 races, Jimmy Johnson won't advance to the final round. You'll start 16th on Sunday, Jimmy. Which end of the racetrack in this round hurts you the most?
You know, qualifying's not my specialty by any means, so, you know, 16th doesn't look good, but it's not the worst. We've started a lot worse before, but for us, truthfully, the track's changed so much since our practice session that some rounds and the track bar and tire pressure ain't going to fix what we have going on. The car is just really, really loose. We need to go on the scales and change some springs around to get grip in the car. So we put our best foot forward there, made a huge swing at it, just didn't have enough in what we can adjust here on pit road.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
Let's show you out on track the difference between qualifying last year with last year's package at the top, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr. today.
Yeah, we just took the green, headed into turn 1. Look at this, 215 miles per hour over here on Dale Earnhardt Jr. versus 207 miles per hour last year. But the biggest thing that I see here is just how little speed drop-off there was last year with that more high downforce package versus this year. So when we head down the back straightaway here, car reaches terminal velocity up here on last year's package and sort of stalls out at 205, 206, but not on this year's package. 212 miles per hour entering into the corner. Also a little bit of change there in RPM, 9,000 versus 9,200. But look at this. Look how much speed drop off. 178 miles per hour versus 197 in the center of the corner through turns 3 and 4. Off of turn 4 and headed back to the finish line.
And it looked like last year you didn't get all the way out of the throttle at any time, did you?
Oh, I don't think I lifted at all.
Wow.
If you did, maybe it was just barely rolling out of it. I think when we sat on that track record, you know, back in 2014, that was definitely wide open.
Yeah, you could just tell, Jeff, just watching the video there. The corner speed, you were fast on the corner. You were fast through the corners. You were down the straightaway.
Yeah, it's almost just like the friction of turning the wheel and the load as the cars get into the banking. and the increased side force seemed to slow the car down as much as actually anything else, versus these the cars this year, they're actually lifting off the throttle and maybe even putting on the brakes.
Here are the 12 drivers who advance. Joey Logano has been fastest in the second round the last 3 weeks in a row, but the last 2 weeks in a row did not go on to win the pole. Austin Dillon will be the first car on the clock.
Pretty good job by the Childress cars today. You got Newman in the top 12 and Austin Dillon in the top 12. Good job of these guys.
Now, 4 cars did not pull out and go to the end of pit road. Chase Elliott, Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, and Kyle Busch. Kyle made 4 runs already, 2 in each round. He's the only car in the top 12 to have run that many laps.
Yeah, this is kind of a one and done here. I mean, you know, you only got 5 minutes, so you go out and just get your best shot.
I don't know if that's going to work good for Kyle Busch. Seems like he picks up every time he goes out the second time in one of these rounds.
He's just not going to have enough time to do that.
No, he's got to get it done in one lap this time.
That's right.
All right, did Denny Hamlin save a little for round 3? His round 2 speed was a little off of round 1. Most other drivers in the top dozen picked up. Austin Dillon, 36-36.
Picked up a little bit from round 2.
Here comes your man.
Or sorry, apologize, from round 1.
Yeah, he's off a 10th from round 2. Hamlin, 36-22. He's a little slower.
And we'll see what Logano's got. He's a little quicker. This could go into the 35s.
It's going to be close. Oh, I think
if that is, that's over 200.
He's put a really nice lap together here.
Woo,
Money,
right on the
36.08.
Almost what he ran the second go round right there.
Not his fastest lap of the day, but will it be good enough? Kyle Larson, 3rd.
Boy, I love hearing that. You know what I heard there? Car sounds really stiff. Over the bumps, you can almost hear the engine tune changing. It's usually that car just bouncing and skipping over the bumps like a real stiff race car.
He's driving pretty good. See his hands there. He's turning left.
It's coming back a little bit. It's going to be close. I don't think it's enough.
Digging.
Second, 36-17.
Very nice run.
Very nice. Big improvement over Pocono last week. You know, they didn't qualify very well. It seemed to hinder them throughout the whole event, and that's going to be a much better place to start. Wow.
Easy, Ricky. Hang on to her, brother.
He's on the cushion.
Whoa, he is right up in that race.
I got time to cool it all. Probably missed 1 and 2 bad.
That sounds like Hamlin.
No, I don't think you have enough time to cool it off.
To do anything.
Tony Stewart putting a nice lap up as well. Look at him going into the green.
Hey, he smoke qualified good last week. They got that qualifying thing going on now.
Yep, second final round appearance in a row. He was 6th last week.
Really drove down into 1 deep. Lost a little bit through the middle 1 and 2. Look at that, bringing it back here though off of 4.
He's digging. Come on, buddy.
Ryan Newman, 4th. And Stewart, 3rd.
Good job.
36-19. That's his fastest lap of the day. Kyle Busch out there now with Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and Carl Edwards.
Saw Ryan Blaney really get into turn 1 good in the green. He's flirting with it.
I think the driver asking if we had time to cool it down, it might have been Austin Dillon. They made some adjustments to his car. He's going back out to try to make another run.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell.
Yep.
Look at Carl Edwards here. In the green, lost a little bit there off of turn 2.
Chase Elliott, 9th.
Telltale right here, buddy. How do you get in 3? Hard to get in there.
I was going to say, he carried some good speed in there, hoping it would stick, but it just didn't.
And that just messes up your, I mean, that just takes the speed out of the whole corner.
Yeah, I lost it 3 and 4.
11th for Edwards. Ryan Blaney, 5th.
Yeah, really, really nice effort by Ryan Blaney to be in that top 5.
That is. Good job.
So Austin Dillon out for a second try, which is kind of rare for us to see in round 3. Trying to improve on 8th place.
Now see, he was the first car out in this round, so that's why they had enough time to go cool it down and try to do this again.
I just don't think
Yeah,
that's going
it's
to work
wide
out.
here off of 4.
You got one and done in this round. That's about all you can get in and think you got a shot.
He's quick. No, he's not quicker. Excuse me.
No,
He drops back a bit. Holds on to 8th spot, though.
That's Todd Gordon, the crew chief there. And
Joey Logano seals the deal. Chris?
Yeah, high fives all around here, Joey. We talked in the middle of round 1, and you were pretty surprised that you were that high up on the charts. You take the pole here. Even more surprised now?
It just feels really good because the last couple of weeks we've come in second in the final round. We've been qualifying really well with this 22 car. We just haven't had the pole, so it's nice to finally break through and get a pole with this new package. It really goes to show how great this Team Penske is on preparing cars from the shop and really not knowing what they're coming to, but we can have some great adjustability in it and a fast car, obviously. So couldn't be more proud of the team with our qualifying efforts as of recently. It's just we finally won the right round, the last one.
All right, thanks, Joey.
16th career pole for Joey Logano. Second pole at Michigan and his second of the season. He'll lead Martin Truex Jr. and Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin to the green. Stewart again with his best starting spot of the year for the second week in a row.
really good job by Tony. Really good.
Among the rookies, Ryan Blaney in 5th, Chase Elliott in 10th. Remember, Joey's one of the 2 remaining winners from last year yet to go to victory lane.
Yeah, he had to started second the past 2 weeks, so made up for today.
I really like Chris Buescher there in 22nd position and Ty Dillon in 23rd.
Yeah, they both did a great job. Look
back there, though. There's Harvey Jr. and all the way back here in row 15, Kevin Harvick. Woohoo!
Yep, work to do.
Oh, yeah. Would be fun watching them come up through the field, though.
And this track is so wide, that shouldn't be much of a problem, should it?
I don't think so.
All right. Joey Logano is your pole winner. ARCA is coming up. And then don't forget tonight, the trucks from Texas. All right here on FS1.